Welcome back to I'm an Asset podcast. I am your co-host, Dr. Breanne Smith.
And I'm your other co-host, Zachary Wilson. Today we're going to be doing another one of those in the moment, there's a word for it, impromptu.
Oh, yeah. Those are the best.
Extemporaneous.
Yeah, these are our kitchen table conversations.
Which I've been, like in the last episode we talked about, we're trying to do more and more of these because the essence of what this was supposed to be was to capture exactly how it was in real life. With me just kind of firing off questions and her giving the answer because she's such an expert in this field. And she's definitely an expert in what we're talking about today, which you probably already know from the title, philanthropy.
Yeah.
So this came to my mind because I am in a finance class and we talk a little bit about finance here. And so some of the stuff I see in class, I can bring up with her. And we have brought up Dave Ramsey here before. Dave Ramsey is big on philanthropy. He's not only big on building wealth and staying out of debt and all the cores and stuff, but also when you actually build that wealth, to spread that wealth and share it. And I think, I can't say this is the first time this principle was started for sure, but I know that Andrew Carnegie back in like the early 1900s had like a
the 20s
thing
and 30s, yeah,
where he would give back. That was kind of like the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe Rockefeller did that too. So what do you have to say? What's a good area to start with that?
Well, I think talking about Dave Ramsey is a really great place to start because, and I'm glad you brought him up because I've actually seen him a lot online in the last couple of weeks, mainly because, the election's coming up and he's really kind of try to bring out the issues, especially as it's related to finances. And so I've seen him a lot on screen here lately. But Dave has come up with a 7-step process for, how you create wealth, you get out of debt, and then ultimately become a philanthropist because you have your finances in order and you have the ability to give some away. And I think that's a nice goal as far as being the picture of financial health is that you've taken care of your personal house and then now you can give away to others. And that's a nice financial goal. So as far as philanthropy, I'd like to think of it as the philanthropist, being a philanthropist, which is someone who enjoys working in the community, giving back to the community, and serving the community in some way via education, time, or money.
Yeah.
And so I think the place to start is maybe do you have any experience in philanthropy? I'd love to hear those.
I do. I think I could say I do. I think philanthropy is more tied to giving monetarily, but I've been asked because, we've talked about how I'm going to college and a lot of college and scholarship application processes, they just in the wanting to get to know you more, they'll ask some question along the lines of this. I've gotten this question a few times is, how do you contribute to service or community service? How are you involved in that? And I think it's kind of the same principle, boiling down to kindness, doing something useful to other people without expecting anything in return, service, philanthropy. I think those are all kind of in the same big bubble, right? So how I've done that is I've done community service for some local businesses, like lawn maintenance and just kind of general, it's the word like an average Joe can do. But not being paid for it. Some people they need the help, but they can't allocate the resources. And I think that's why service is such a great thing. It's because there were times when I've been a part of organizations that helped me without me giving them anything when I was younger, and now I can have the opportunity to do the same thing for other people. So it's kind of a cycle, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I can actually think of 2 times in the last week you have given of your time for some
I give you
organization?
3.
Three. Give me three.
So, well, our school has had a community service day, which it works out. It's a really good time to do it. Basically, if you want to test and get your test scores up, they have the whole school kind of get ready for testing, try to keep it quiet, and get your scores up. But if if you're in a good spot or you just don't want to take the tests, you want to take them outside of school through another organization, then you can do community service. You're actually required to do it, but you can take that option. And so I thought there was only one day, but there's actually 2 days. So one day I went to an elementary school, a local one, and they kind of just, the administration just needed some help doing some like organizing things and moving things around. Because you would think that, just a couple of boxes in the foyer is not like a whole thing that needs someone to organize a bunch of kids to come over. Like, but you'd be surprised when they're short staffed or they just have a lot of people who are very busy doing other things. It's actually a really big help to have someone come in and without expecting, anything in return to just help out. It's really great. So we did that. We went to a zoo. My group, at least, groups went to other places, but the second day we had another community service day. We went to the zoo and we did a lot of lawn maintenance, kind of picking up, cleaning up, making the area look better, trimming, raking leaves, stuff like that. So we did that. And then I volunteered at a local farmer's market where I actually used to work, which is great because I feel like when I'm doing community service for a place, they're like, hey stranger, here's what's going on. You got to do this and move this here. And sometimes it's like, well, we don't really know what we got to do with you. Like, I feel like
Come up with something.
I've showed up at these places for my church and just experiencing it in this community service these days. Like sometimes they just don't know what to do with you, which it was great that I was volunteering for this place because I used to work there and I knew where everything was and I kind of knew what was going on. So I felt very productive the whole time I was there.
Market. And you spent your entire weekend helping with a fall festival, which I think was amazing. We dropped by just to look at you. Yes. And then on Monday, you helped out with a golf tournament that we sponsored.
I did that too. So 4 things.
4 things. Yes, so we sponsored a really great beneficiary, the YMCA in Montgomery. And our experience with the YMCA has always been with the kids playing soccer. And we just love the YMCA. So we supported this golf tournament on Monday, and Zachary, being part of our firm's team, came out and helped with that. So that was a really good time too. So one thing that I want you to think about as far as how you are participating in community service and giving of your time to organizations is a great way to start in your journey in philanthropy, because maybe right now you don't have the financial resources to monetarily give away to organizations, but your time is also a resource that is appreciated by many organizations. So even if you feel like you want to be a philanthropist, but you don't have the money yet, you're not in Dave's step 7 of giving it away yet, a way that you can get started in that mindset and on that journey is giving of your time, which you are unbelievably awesome at.
I don't know why I do that to myself. Just the other day, I was, someone needed some help with something, babysitting, and I was like, I really wanted to, like, they sent me a text, they're like, hey, can you help watch our kids? And I was like thinking about doing it, and there was just no way possible I would have the time to do it, but I was still like trying to like move everything around. I don't know, I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
We talked about
you
this
have a servant's heart.
last episode with the whole in the relationship and for always providing solutions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm constantly looking for ways to make things better and to optimize things and help out.
Yeah.
So
And sometimes you can't. And you also can't give to every organization that comes across. The way that I kind of direct my monetary resources as far as philanthropy is concerned are things that I'm very passionate about. So I'm very passionate about women and women in financial literacy. So organizations that benefit women in financial literacy, I will speak at events related to those things, and I like to, so that's my time in those things. And then I also monetarily give. Also passionate about my church, so give away to causes that my church sees are, maybe a church planting or some kind of cause repair. Also a tithe as far as to church, and then also anything that benefits you guys as kids, like the YMCA.
I wanted to actually talk about that a little bit. Is the principle of philanthropy is, for us Christians, we kind of experience our whole lives with tithing. And I guess it's kind of obligatory, wouldn't you say?
Tithing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. You're supposed to do it. It's in the Bible.
And so philanthropy is not some, 21st century thing that we just kind of invented. Like it's been around for a while. And so let's think about, like, I just want to talk about, like, maybe why that's a thing.
Why tithing is a thing, or why giving away money is a thing?
Why do people give away? Like, why do people give their time for free? Why do they give their money away without an ulterior motive?
Yeah.
There might be some ulterior motive, like personal reputation. Like, I'm such a good charitable person.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, and that's something to be said about it, because oftentimes when you sponsor something like the golf tournament, I most definitely had my name on logos. They did Facebook posts about that. They interviewed me live. There was a lot that went into that, as far as benefits that I received in return, just of marketing related. And the same would go for many contributions that you might contribute to an organization, and they have levels. You might be a gold sponsor, a silver sponsor. And many nonprofits have like a booklet or a pamphlet or somewhere where they list their sponsors. For example, the Alabama Shakespeare Festival. We love the plays at the Shakespeare Festival here. And every time you get a book that's got the playbill on it for whatever play we're watching, in the back you can look and see who all the sponsors and how much they sponsor. And that is a benefit of being a sponsor, a philanthropist to an organization. However, that's not, I don't think, why many people give.
Nor do I think it should be the main reason you give. I think well, there's a lot to be said about that. But back to the church thing, like, I'm not gonna talk about this just because I don't understand it. I just want to talk about it because I think it's interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's a very complex cycle that really makes sense when you zoom out. The fact that when you go to church and you kind of just go without, it's not like a subscription to go to church every Sunday. But so for the people who can't, they can go. But the people who can, who are abundant, they give the money back in, and it kind of just works.
Right. It does. And sometimes it doesn't. If it a church may fail if the actual membership dwindles and the people who have the money have moved away or gone away. Or we've unfortunately seen over the last several years how churches split over various reasons. And, that can create financial hardship in not being able to fund a church. But I think that people give to their churches because, it's biblical, but then also the mission of a church, of churches that I've been involved in, in the last 20 years, support missions, support disaster relief, are some of the first responders to like what's happened with the hurricane, support missionaries who are all over the world spreading the word, which are things that I'm passionate about. And so because I want to support efforts like that, I give. So I think people give not just because they feel like they have to, maybe some people do, but also because they believe in the mission of an organization.
And I think maybe one thing we could touch on, because this, I think we planned for this to be a shorter episode today, just kind of off the cuff, right? I think we could just talk about kindness. I think kindness is the root of all this. I already said something about this earlier, but you know what's interesting about being kind is that it's not really related to survival or something that we developed through evolution. Because being kind, doing something for another person or creature, helping someone without doing anything for your return, giving your resources away without benefiting yourself, that doesn't sound like something you would do survival wise, right? But for some reason, it releases endorphins in our brain. And I've heard, I'm not going to say, I haven't done enough research on this to see how true this is, but from one video I saw, is that scientists don't know why this is like they can't figure it out, because generally every part about us has some sort of biological explanation for it, but they can't figure out why that is.
Can I get a little woo woo on you?
What does that mean?
Can I take it to a level
Yes,
that
of
maybe
course.
we haven't ever talked about? Is that I believe there's an energy to money and an energy in the way that we respond and receive and let go of money. And so when you reach to the point of gratefulness, of abundance, of that mindset of abundance financially, the releasing of it to another cause, it gives you a positive energy, as opposed to holding tightly to it and just grasping for every little dollar here and there, and being very not restrictive in a a necessary way, but restrictive in a toxic way of your finances, and not wanting to participate in giving, or feeling like if I give it away I won't have enough. And that energy can be quite sabotaging to your own finances. And so I think as you grow in health with your finances, you also grow in that positive energy of enjoyment and giving it away, which just creates this flow and this cycle of it back into your life. And that's also a nice goal to try to achieve, is the mindset that you need to get there.
Yeah. And economically speaking, philanthropy has a lot of benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Because when there's the difference between the government printing a bunch of money and giving it away versus the people who have it, who give it away, and it's like a catalyst. They can kickstart some people and help them get back on their feet. So,
yeah, I think we haven't talked about, maybe one reason why people might give when they're not passionate about an organization is for tax purposes, because if you give above a certain amount, you can get a tax deduction for your charitable contributions. So many people are very driven by a tax deduction to give away. But because that's giving away to an organization instead of paying a tax, they're getting the direct benefit of the money received from an individual versus some kind of funding from the government.
Well, I think we're actually talking about taxes right now in my economics class. And I'd love to talk about like maybe a little bit how that comes into play either here or in other areas. But I think as far as today's concerned, we got a good convo,
Yeah.
right?
You satisfied with it?
Are you?
Well, one other thing I wanted to mention that you participate in with me
Yeah.
that you haven't yet is that you and I are part of an organization called the Women's Philanthropy
Yes,
Board
we could talk about that.
for a local university, Auburn University Women's Philanthropy Board. And I've been on that board for a while. And you were recently a Phil, which is a male member of the philanthropy board, and you got to be in a calendar this year,
Yes.
which also supported our mission, which is to provide financial education to women so that they're good with money, so that they can grow in wealth and give it away as philanthropists. And we provide a lot of scholarships to the College of Human Resources, the College of Human Sciences at Auburn University. So we're very proud to have been around for 20 years now.
That's great.
So it's a great organization that you and your brother are a part of, and that we participate in some of the events and throughout the year. And so being a part of an organization right now, like you're such a young age, is just a great time to just be involved.
It's really cool that she's allowed me to be a part of it. Funny story. Have you ever Googled yourself and wanted to see if you're famous enough yet for Google to pick up on you? I don't know. I did that a couple times in like middle school. I don't know, but
Crickets.
so
It's
I
not a terrible
kind of given up on it. She's in a ton of stuff, so you'd probably find her if you look. Yeah, you definitely would. She's been in magazines, all that kind of thing. And so I was sitting in class the other day, and on one of the someone sent a photo. We're in this class website where all of the people in our class are in it, and there's a comment box for this tool we use for our classroom. And someone had sent a photo of me from that calendar from the philanthropy board. And I was like, how did you get this? And they were like, I found it on the internet. So I don't know. Someone had, without being prompted, looked up my name on the internet for me and found it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess I have reached that level finally where if you Google me, I will pop up, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, in the month of June, because you were promoted all in the month of June, you were Mr. June. Auburn posted your stuff all over Facebook, and
All right.
and so they promoted that quite a bit this summer. And Michael's about to be Mr. November, so that'll be coming up soon. So congratulations for being findable on Google.
Thank you. I'm moving up in the world.
Great. Well, I think this was a really good question that you had. I'd love to revisit it as we move forward and some other things.
I agree. I think there's some other areas we could explore. But for today, that was great. And if you guys want to check out more episodes for stuff we've gone deeper into, you can find us on most of the major podcast directories. You can find us on our website. If you want to talk to us directly, message us. You can do that on our website too. Or if you want to buy some merch, you can do that on our website. We also have an Instagram and a TikTok. I'll link that in the description of this video. But until then,
see you next time.